Jeff the Killer, Chapter 1, by THEPErfectblur. You aren't always like this, an outcast, sent away by your own family, your own flesh and blood, to be trapped in a God-forsaken place full of pain and misery. There is nothing left for you, nothing at first. You tried to ignore it, the name calling you monster, freak, demon, and witch. It wasn't your fault. You never asked for this. You never want to be this. It was a burden. You hated every second of your life. Trying to think, day in and day out, all those nights that passed you by, desperately trying to think about where it all went wrong. Sir, it's John's toad. It's alive. A child yelled as he points in your direction in panic, but also excitement as you sat in your school's desk. Impossible. The teacher spat as he stands to his feet, rushing over. The boy and the other student doing the same. You ignore them, giggling at the life that the toad had. How it was given a second chance. It was you. You helped it. Your mother said it was a gift from the gods. Although you don't know about whether it was actually the gods, what even is a god? A being that creates new worlds, new life? That wasn't you. Your gift wasn't to create new life. It was to give life back to those who had lost it. But just to think you were one of the lucky ones, able to control such life. John! What's going on? Where did you get this animal? From the garden? Did you bring it in with you from home? Where is your dead specimen I gave you for this experiment? You shake your head with a wide smile, your hair flowing back and forth, swiftly brushing softly against your skin of your cheek as you giggle. A child full of nothing but pure happiness. Look, sir, it can be happy. It's alive. Isn't that wonderful? You couldn't stop smiling. This was the first time you had successfully given something back its life. You were told of your gift, but have never been able to use it until now. Nonsense. This animal was supposed to be dead for scientific research. Now do as I say and stop fooling around. The teacher hisses through his yellow teeth, grabbing hold of the scalpel, driving it straight into the toad's back. No! You screamed, but it was too late. The toad's frantic legs stopped flailing and eventually came to a rest. A painful end. The blade that once pierced its heart, it yanked out and slammed onto the desk. Now get back to the dissection. Are you listening to me, John? But you weren't. You couldn't take your eye off of the poor toad that lay dead before you. What was once dead was given life, a new chance, a new start, only for the chance to be crushed and taken away again. This infuriated you. So you done the one thing you did best. Giving life was a new thing to you, but taking life, that was a piece of cake. By this time you were only 7 years old, beginning to give life at the age of 7, but taking life, you've been taking life since the age of 3. Slowly lifting your head, you stared, burning eyes looked at your teacher. You stared deep into his soul. Standing out of your seat slowly, watching him tensely as he begins to grow anxious, straightening and readjusting his tie, clearing his throat. Take your sweat! You ignore him, the rage building up inside of you as your eyes locked with his. I said take your seat! He was interrupting by his own agonizing screams as the hands clutched tightly around to the side of his head. His eyes clenching shut and teeth grinding together as he continues to yell in pain, thrashing his head side to side, stumbling across the classroom. Crashing into tables and falling over chairs, blood began to dribble from his nose and his eyes, even his ears. You practically set his brain on fire. Just a slight adjustment, turning up the heat in the melon of his. Just a bit more and it was over. Blood splatters across the wall, floor, ceiling, desk, and chairs, even on the students. Chunks of brain matter scatter around, following the blood trail as your teacher's head explodes. You had many ways of taking lives, manipulating them to end on their own. manipulating and controlling objects to kill them too. But your favorite? Turning their head into a microwave. The screams of children from the classroom below, down the hallway as they ran for their lives. The fear, the chills that flooded their spine. It thrilled you. Giving life was fun, but so was taking it. That was the day people found out about you, just 7 years old, already a murderer. What kind of life is that for a child? Well, you could say it's even worse now. After that day, your mother and father could no longer protect you. Your other previous killings were small, just animals, their neighborhood cat, a few birds, nothing major, things that are easy to hide and keep secret. But killing a human in front of 30 other young students, leaving all the evidence for 60 plus teachers and a lot more students to see, there's no hiding that, no turning back. So your parent took the easy route. Rather than defending you, they did the worst thing imaginable. Taking you to the police? Nah, too easy. And nothing would come of it. You were only 7. If anything, your mother and father would be the ones charged and convicted. No. They needed something that would ensure they would be safe and far from you. They gave you to a psychiatric hospital, a place for dangerous and potentially mental people, you might say. They thought the doctors could help you. But they did and do nothing of the sort. They experiment on you every hour of every day, looking for answers on how you are even possible, trying to find ways to manipulate you, turning you into some sort of weapon. You resent your parents for doing this. They put you in a hellhole, and you are going to make sure they pay for what they did to you, John.